The scent of books fills the library of an urban high school. A boy's eyes race across the pages of a complicated technical manual. The only sounds are the scrape of his finger across paper and the faint cries of students outside. The library is a place apart. It is his sanctuary, his peace. But not on this day. The chatter of the other students fills the boy with annoyance. Unable to bear the shattered order of things, the boy closes the book and abandons his study. Casting a scathing glance at the other students, he exits the library without a word. The words and actions of his classmates serve to increase his loneliness, but he is used to it.
In a metropolitan high school, the windows have been flung wide to welcome the early summer breeze. The chatter of students eager to head home fills the halls. A girl emerges from a classroom. Her friend has been asking for this particular favor for the entire school year. "All right," says the girl, "but you owe me a soda." Her teacher's confidence in her ability could not be more clear. "I'll do my best," responds the girl, giving her teacher a polite smile that fails to reach the eyes. She deftly turns down the invitation with a promise to go later and rushes for the school gates. To all eyes, the girl is a sociable, clever student, who openly embraces all the joys youth has to offer. The girl makes her way down a quiet residential street, away from the chaos and clatter of the city. She hurries home with quick and silent steps. "I'm home," she calls out in a relieved voice after stepping through the door. Said home is a meager, unfortunate apartment, a far cry from the halcyon image of her school life. The girl finds her father sitting listlessly in a room barely large enough for two. She begins to buzz about the space, straightening and cleaning without the slightest hint of resentment. Perched casually atop the TV is a bank book that represents their entire life as father and daughter. The remaining balance is less than some of her friends' allowances. But she manages to make ends meet by working part-time. She carefully picks a rumpled suit off the floor and places it neatly on a hanger. When did he last wear this? She wonders to herself. He has been unemployed ever since he and her mother divorced. She finds a family photo fallen from one of the gaps between books. It shows her with her parents and little brother, who had gone to live with their mother after the divorce. It shows a time when happiness was not yet a fiction, and after a moment, she crushes it in her fist. The room tidied, the girl alights on a cushion and takes a small rest. Her father's speech is dull, flat. It sounds like the final puff of air released from a corpse. His ex-wife's wasteful spending had saddled him with impossible debts. Emotionally and spiritually broken, her father's daily life had become a thing of rote and sorrow. But it had not always been so. The man once provided his little girl with all the joy imaginable. So no matter how hard their life might be, she would continue to smile for his sake.
He walks down the cold and sterile hallway of a hospital, one he has visited times beyond counting. The clinical scent of antiseptic calms his soul. The room is completely silent, save for the constant beep of an electrocardiogram. The woman in the bed is his mother. And though she is dead to the world, he slowly begins to tidy her room. He replaces the wilted flowers in the vase with a fresh and vibrant bouquet that smells of spring. They are violets, his mother's favorite, and she was delighted to see them when she was admitted. She suffers from a chronic heart condition that sees her constantly in and out of hospitals. A torn photograph of a family lies discarded on the floor. It shows him with his parents, an older sister, who had gone to live with their father after the divorce. The photo is all that remains of that fleeting moment of happiness. He pulls back the curtain, letting warm sunlight spill into the room. "No, Mother," he says as she attempts to sit up. "Just rest." Her ex-husband, the boy's father, had pushed the already brittle woman to her breaking point. His straightening finished, the boy goes to his mother's side. His heart clenches in his chest as he looks down on her grateful expression. His father had beaten his mother more times than he could count. The abuse was so severe, his mother could no longer stand. She had provided him with so much happiness when he was a child. He puts all that he can into his studies so he might become a doctor and find a way to cure her. So he now devotes his life to her. With the day complete, people hurry about their business in the evening gloam of the city. The boy walks alone in the street, surrounded by a noise and light and life that is a far cry from the typical silence of the night. After studying at a cafe, he heads for work. The boy makes a perfunctory apology and hangs up before the voice on the other end is finished. Familiar loathing for society passes across his features as he jogs down the street. Suddenly, he bumps into a group of fellow high school students. Chatter and squeak like startled insects, organisms barely worthy of the miracle of life. Deeming the interaction not worth his time, he mutters his second false apology of the evening before hurrying from the scene. He is saving up for medical school, in the hopes he might somehow restore his mother to health. He studies until words blur across the page, then works multiple jobs to save tuition money. Fatigue is a constant companion, joy an enemy. His life, his seemingly endless life, is nothing but stress.
With the day complete, people hurry about their business in the evening gloam of the city. The girl walks alone on the street, bathed in the warm glow of brilliant neon. Her hood has been pulled down over her eyes, as if attempting to hide a grim truth. When a message comes to her phone, she glances down before typing a simple reply. Almost there. Urged on by her client, she picks up her pace. The lights of the city fade as the girl enters the malignant gloom of a dingy alleyway. While the city is bright and vibrant, here, darkness reigns. A young man of college age stands amidst the shadows. Seeing her approach, his face breaks out into a lean and hungry grin. She takes his money and hands him a small bag in return. A bag containing illegal drugs. This is her secret, the profession she has assumed so she might repay her family's massive debt. As the student continues mumbling, she spins on one heel and begins her retreat. Guilt, that old, familiar friend, rises in her chest. Guilt over abetting the destruction of another life. Enough. This is for Dad. Nothing else matters. Suddenly, a knife appears, as if conjured from the dark. Fearing what the man might do, the girl dashes away. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She weaves and bobs through the crowd of people, drying tears on her sleeves as she runs. Suddenly, a collision, an impact, pain. All she wants, all she has ever wanted, is to live a quiet life with her father. She has risked everything for this one small wish. But in this world, the people who pass by on the street care nothing for her. The dim fluorescent light barely illuminates the room. "I'm home," cries the girl as she forces a false cheer into her voice. Her father's empty eyes gaze into a blank television. Pressing on, she sits down and begins excitedly telling him about her day at school. Eventually, she gets around to the biggest news, a list of jobs at fine companies that her homeroom teacher had encouraged her to pursue. Convinced this news will lift her father's spirits, she is shocked to see him crumple into himself and begin to wail uncontrollably. As he sobs, he speaks of the shame he feels in being unable to provide his daughter with the higher education she deserves. As she calls out to her unstable father, her true feelings burst to the surface. Why, Dad? Why are our lives like this? It is a question she has asked uncountable times, yet the answer is always the same. It is her mother's fault, the woman who took everything from them and left nothing but crushing debt in return. And so this day ends like all the others, with cold rage accumulating in her heart like so much snow in a blizzard.